Um, this is a video for the women, Christian women, also the BHI movement women, especially those who are new at both sides. Here and I will just explain briefly what actually was also done away with, and how it actually really looks like. Through the teachings that I've received and the truth that I've received through Jehovah, using my brothers and sisters, whom also have been revealed this by the watchmen, who are now also watchmen. So I'll jump right in. So in 1 John 2, it says here that, and hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is a love of God perfected. Hereby know ye that we are in him. He that saith he abideth in him ought himself also so to walk, even as he walked. Yeshua came and he magnified the 10 Commandments. Because even in John 14:15, everybody knows this verse. He himself says, if you love me, keep my commandments. Now pray to the Father. Let me get it. Yep. It says, I pray to the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever, even the Spirit of truth. See, if you do not keep his commandments, you are already not in truth. You already do not even have his Spirit. And your mind is already given over to reprobate mind, strong delusion, blindly following other blind people, as he says. He magnified the law so that we could obtain the mercy. This mercy was first, of course, also prophesied, not first, but was already said in Luke 1:72, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant, the holy covenant. Please remember that word. Okay? The holy covenant and the mercy promised. And so, where does that mercy actually come from? Right? Because before that, Prophet Elijah in spirit, John the Baptist came to pave the way, to make his path straight. In Malachi 4:4, it says, remember ye the law of Moses my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb, for all Israel, which the statutes and judgments, Mount Horeb, in Horeb. That is the key word here. So what happened at Mount Horeb is that at Mount Horeb, after the children came from across the sea, actually, and they received also the manna, okay, they were chiding against Moses to ask for water. And so God said unto Moses, go on before the people and take with thee of the elders of Israel and thy rod and wherewith thou smotest the river, okay, take in thine hand and go. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb, that thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come out of it, shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. Okay? So Yeshua speaks also about this rock, that we should build our house on a rock in Matthew 7. And that whoever does this is like unto a wise man. Because the flood came, the wind blew, and the house did not fall. He's talking about this Mount Horeb rock. Now, and Yeshua speaks with the lady at the well, that he has the living water. Whoever drinks of it will never thirst again. Then it refers it back again to here in Horeb at the rock. What happened there, right? What happened there? In Exodus 19, God made a covenant. Verse 5, therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words that he spake, which ye shall speak unto the children of Israel. And Moses did that, and the children of Israel agreed to it. Okay, the covenant, if they would obey his voice and keep his covenant, keep his agreement, it's conditional. There will be a special people unto him. And then he said that he will descend on the Mount Sinai and give what they have to do to be a peculiar people unto him. Those are the 10 commandments in Exodus 21-17. And that is with the Sabbath, dawn to dawn. I know you ladies, you Christian ladies, I know that you're gonna say that Jesus is your Sabbath, he's your rest. But please do not twist the scriptures like that. Okay? Yeshua came and he magnified the law. He said that if you love me, you keep the commandments. This is the commandment that he was talking about. The commandments established in, God being at the Mount Sinai and the children being at Mount Horeb, accepting the 10 commandments. The Sabbath, dawn to dawn. On a Saturday, not on Sunday, not the winter solstice day, the venerating day of the sun like Constantine has made it to be. Not the traditions of man, but on a Saturday that he has ordained himself for us to be a peculiar people unto him. So, and this is actually also the mercy talked about in Luke 1:72. Because if you read Exodus 20, verse 6, he's then saying there, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. This is the same exact words. Also, well, not really exact, but Yeshua says, if you love me, you keep my commandments. Here it says the same again. Showing mercy unto thousands and them that love me. If you love me, you keep my commandments. If you do not keep his commandment, the truth is not in you. Then you are not a child of God, but you are of the devil. Because you're a liar. And in Deuteronomy 5, it says it here very plain and clear also. Second instructions. If you read Deuteronomy 5, 1-22, again, he goes over the 10 commandments, and at 22, he says that these words the Lord spake unto all your assembly in the Mount Horeb, Mount Sinai, I'm sorry, out of the midst of the fire and the cloud and the thick darkness and with a great voice, and he added no more. Moses came down with the 2 tablets. God was the one who wrote with his finger on those 2 tablets. 10 commandments. He added no more. So what are those other laws that came after? Those are the law of Moses. And for what do they serve? Right? They came after the transgressions of the Ten Commandments that the children of Israel did beneath the Mount Sinai at Exodus 32 with the golden calf, burning incense, being naked, and doing whatnot. That is what the law of Moses serves for. The ark, when it was built, it was placed in the Ten Commandments, symbolizing that we should circumcise our heart, opening, the thing, and then, but opening it, right? And putting the Ten Commandments in our hearts. That is what should be written in our hearts. And that is what God is also trying to put in our hearts. The Ten Commandments, because those are the mercy promised. That if we love him, we keep his commandments, because then we'll be walking in truth and in spirit. And to teach our children to do so. Deuteronomy 6 is very clear on that we should teach our children to do so. My mother never taught me that. I praise Yah that he actually opened my eyes to this. And for the BHI movement that think that the Sabbath is on the Saturday evening to evening, that is not what it is. That is a satanic lie, okay, from the Babylonian system after they were being captive, taking their customs with them. After Judah was being taken to Babylon, they took those customs back with them when they were freed. In Exodus 16, because this is what I want you to see, verse 23, and he said unto them, this is that which the Lord hath said, tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today. He's speaking that now on Friday, and seethe that ye will seethe, and that which remaineth overlay up for you to keep until the morning. Until the morning. That is the reckoning of the day. The day starts at dawn, first light dawn. Okay? And they lay it up until the morning. So Saturday morning came, and Moses bade, as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any warmth therein. And Moses said, eat that today. It's Sabbath today. So eat that today, for today is a Sabbath unto the Lord. Very plain, clear, and simple right here. So why do y'all, BHI movement, Messianic movement, why do y'all transgress against the Sabbath? Ladies, please turn away from your wickedness of the transgressions of men. It's very clear here. Very clear. You are touching the borders, also doing those extra laws, the law of Moses, that which Yeshua died for and done away with, so that we could just do the Ten Commandments. You're touching the borders of Mount Sinai. That is what it means to touch the borders. Because in Galatians 4, we see the allegory of Mount Sinai and actually Horeb. Horeb being the free woman, meaning Sarah, meaning the Ten Commandments, the Holy Covenant, actually. And Hagar, which is Mount Sinai, being the sacrificial law, the stoning, and the animal sacrifices, and also the extra rules therein. That's her allegory, excuse me. And by touching that, you'll be literally slapping Yeshua in the face. He died for you so that you can keep the 10 Commandments. That is what he was magnifying. Amen. I praise Yah. I praise Yah for opening my eyes to this before I was going to do actually the feast, profaning it here in Belgium at the wrong time. Read Jubilee 6. Please read that. So he came and he magnified the 10 commandments. That's it. That is what we need to do. That's what we need to keep. If you do this, your eyes will be opened. You will not be given over to a reprobate mind and being in a strong delusion, drunken with wine, in your own pride, self-righteous. Okay? Faith without works is dead. And the 10 Commandments are not grievous. They're not burdensome. Keep that out of your mouth, ladies. Beside the 10 Commandments, you also need to eat clean. You need to eat clean. That was not done away with. Any lie that comes from the apostate church saying that all meat is clean, you have got to be kidding me. Actually, you're not, but it is not. Okay? We can see this if you go back to Genesis 6, to our forefather, Noah. Says it very plain and very clear. You go to 6. You go to 6, and here he explains what is clean and what is unclean. See if I can find it, because I wanna. Because if God says something is already unclean, he will not then make it later clean, because that makes him then actually a liar. The Bible says that God is always the same. He does not change. In Malachi, he says that. Does not change. So why would this change as well? So in Genesis 6, um, trying to find it. I'm sorry for not finding it right away. Let's see if I can. 18. Must have missed it right over. Okay, so, but with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife and thy son's wife with thee. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. Okay, those are the 2. Those are the 2. They shall be male and female. 2 pairs, by 2 pairs is unclean, and by 7 pairs is clean. We're going to continue to read this. So of the fowl after their kind, and the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing of the earth after his kind, 2 of every sort shall come unto thee, to keep them alive. That was just to keep them alive, man. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten. When God says that it is food, it means that that clean meat that he sanctified, that one is actual food, not the unclean ones. So it shall be food for thee and for them. Okay? Thus did Noah according to all that God commanded him, so did he. Okay? So after we go to 7, verse 2, Genesis 7, verse 2, of every clean beast thou shalt, every clean beast, okay, take to thee by seven, the male and female, and of the of the beasts, that are not clean by 2, the male and female. Right there. It says it right there. 2 unclean, 7 clean. Okay, that's it. And then he proceeded to make the covenant with him. And it was not only with him, and again, covenant is an agreement, is conditional. Okay, it's not one-sided, it's conditional. Like if you go get married, it's not unconditional. It is still conditional. Okay. If you go down to Genesis 9, verse 4, but flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, please remember this word, blood thereof, shall ye not eat. Okay? I do not know if you guys actually will really see this, but and we go to Acts 15. And I know what you guys already think with Acts 10, but the churches has been twisting the words of Paul and Peter to their own destruction, believing doctrines of men. Yeah, so I will go to 15 first, right? 15:20. But that we write unto them that they abstain from pollution of idols. That pollution of idols is that pagan feast that you guys celebrate. That is not even according to the Bible that we should celebrate them, and even mixing the holy with the profane. How can you literally mix those things and celebrate them? Christmas is pagan, Easter is pagan, Valentine is pagan, Halloween is pagan, and many more. Here in Belgium, we have this Ascension of Mary, pagan. We do not, and we should not, worship those pagan ways, not the Queen of Heaven, because that's what she is. In Jeremiah 10, it's all in there. In Jeremiah 10, it's all in there. Those are those Christmas pagan holidays. It's just disgusting. Okay, that is what the pollution of idols is. And also those, of course, those graven images. Crosses, again. Tammuz, no. If we love Yah, we should obey his commandments. And he said that very plain and clearly. Do not have any graven images according to everything here on this earth. That means that cross as well. That fish as well, by the way. And from fornication, spiritual fornication. Okay, apostate church, you guys have you do the fornication, you do the spiritual fornication by celebrating those pagan holidays, by literally doing what God does not want you to do. Excuse me, I drink a lot of coffee and stuff. And from things strangled. If you strangle an animal, the blood is still in there. That's what they used to do. They would strangle it, but the blood would still be in there instead of actually draining it completely, because the blood is life thereof, right? But hold on. So they will strangle it, they will cut it open, blood will still be spilling, they will be roasting it and eating it with the blood. Okay, that is what the blood, that is what the things with the blood means. Because then it says here, after and from blood. It means, like in Genesis 9:4, and the blood thereof. No unclean meat. It's very clear here. It's very clear here. And I know that people in Mark will say, "Oh, but the disciples were spoken by the Pharisees why they eat with their hands." I mean, that is literally what the context is. They were eating with dirty hands. Okay, so what? So what? It was literally about what comes out of the mouth, and it was not about the food being, and I mean all food being literally, or all meats, I'm sorry, being all good to eat. That's not what it says. That's not what it says. Then verse 21, for Moses of old time hath in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogue every Sabbath day. They kept the Sabbath dawn to dawn. They did it. But the church changed the Ten Commandments. You can look it up online. They changed the Ten Commandments. Constantine changed the dates. Okay, and now everybody like goes to church on a Sunday. God does not dwell in buildings made by man's hand. Does not dwell there. So he's not there. Spirit is not there. Okay, and those who will come and then say, oh, but in Colossians 2 it says that we should not judge each other by what we by what we eat, and let other people not judge us by what we eat and how do we celebrate the Sabbath. It was because newly converts were coming into the truth, and they were being taught that they should not be judged or let them be themselves judged by others who celebrated the wrong way. If they were supposed to celebrate a feast, which the temple would still be there, if they were supposed to celebrate a feast, they would go back into Jerusalem. They would do it on the right date, and in Jerusalem, not in a profane land. VHI movement. Celebrating the feast in wherever that you are, except in Jerusalem, and not even on the right time, you are sinning against the Most High Yahovah. You are sinning against him. In Deuteronomy 14 and Leviticus 11, there it is clearly said what is clean and unclean. Okay, the animals who cut the grass and have a splitting hoof, those are the animals that we are supposed to eat. No pork, no shrimp, no crab, no whatever. God will not answer your prayers with your pork, shrimp, crab, stinking mouth. If you keep his commandments, your eyes will be opened. Please keep his commandments so that your eyes will be opened. Um, and for any Christian who says, oh, we should love our neighbor as ourselves, Yeshua did say a lot that we should love our neighbors as ourselves. So let's look that up in James 2, verse 8 to 9. And here's what it says. If you fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, ye do well. Verse 9, but if ye have respect to persons, ye commit sin and are convinced of the law as transgressors. Sorry, cannot speak today. Okay? To love our neighbors as ourselves is actually to rebuke the sin in our neighbor. Instead of that, we will stone them to death because they transgressed God's law. We are supposed to rebuke them. For in Leviticus 19, verse 17, it says, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart, thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor. If you do not rebuke thy neighbor, his sins, you are suffering sin upon him and you are hating your brother. Because here it says, and not suffer sin upon him. And then in verse 18 it says, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. This is why you should read precept upon precept. I did not do that at first because I just kept on eating the food, the pork, shrimp, crab food that the pastors were giving me. Okay? This is very clear. This is very clear to see. Because instead of that, Yeshua would actually stone the woman that committed adultery. He rebuked her. He rebuked her and said, go and sin no more. That's it. That's it. Could have stoned her, but no. He came and he magnified the law. And he loved her as himself. He rebuked her. So in Acts 15, in Acts 15, there were certain men coming in and saying that they should be circumcised and keep the law of Moses, but that is not. See, you guys think that the law of Moses is together with the commandments, but it's not. God wrote the 10 Commandments with his finger, and Moses wrote the rest of the law, the sacrificial law, with his own finger. Okay, and that sacrificial law, it was said outside of the ark as a witness, but the 10 Commandments were placed inside of the ark, as we are supposed to put the 10 Commandments in our hearts as well. Stop doing those pagan feasts. Stop doing the Christmas, the Easter, those graven images. Okay? Keep the Sabbath holy. Eat clean. Because in Isaiah 66, God was literally not pleased when the children of Israel were eating swine under a tree. He said that he would destroy them. So why do you think that he will not do the same to you? Ephesians 2:12 says that we should be like the Commonwealth of Israel. Commonwealth of Israel is in a covenant with Yah. They're in covenant with Yah, meaning they keep the 10 Commandments, they eat clean, and they fulfill the royal law. As watchmen, that is what we are supposed to do. Isaiah 14:1, that it will be the strangers, the foreigners, that will cleave unto the house of Jacob. Or even let me get that because I don't want to be wrong. That they should be cleaving unto the house of there you go, house of Jacob. See? Jeremiah 31, verse 31, the covenant was made with the house of Israel, the house of Judah. If you say that you're a Gentile, because I've heard this before, I'm a Gentile, then you are without hope and without God, because that is what a Gentile is. I am from the house of Israel. I am no Gentile. If you love him, you keep his commandments. And you do not go after the ways of the heathens. God did not tell us to celebrate all those feasts. Okay? He said plain and clearly, if you love me, you keep my commandments. You keep the holy covenant. You eat clean. You fulfill the royal law. So that is my message to you women out there who are coming new to faith. The church is lying to you. Jesus is Baal. I know already some already clicked away, but he is Baal. For John 5:43, he says that he comes in his Father's name, but none will receive him. But he that comes in his own name, him will they receive. Yeshua in English is Joshua. So who the hell is Jesus? Please do your research. And I will place in the description the website of my brothers and sisters with the truth therein. And I pray that this video has convicted you, that the Spirit of grace has pricked your heart to really search these matters out. Don't just take my word for it, but really search these matters out.